You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
For the community, by the community.
Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into Canvas Rolling. Well, it's a big night. It is a rock'em sock'em smash night for you because this is my last Cameras Rolling show. No, I'm not leaving. Don't be sad. I am reformatting my show because what do I preach about? It's never too late for your dreams to come true. So I'm pivoting at the moment, and I have two of my favorite people in the world on my last Cameras Rolling show that have something to do with my pivot. So let me introduce you to Rick Fiocco, who is an actor, and he has many other talents, but I know him as an actor. Yay!
Oh yeah, here I am.
Sit down back there. And next is our real famous local playwright, who's very successful. He has his own following. Without further ado, Jacques Lamarre. Yeah.
Golf clap.
You see him? You see him in the nosebleeds up there? Okay. So what I'm excited about...
Settle down.
Calm down.
So what I'm excited about is we all know... Now, I've met you both through acting. And this is kind of cool because what I'm turning Cameras Rolling project into is called Renegades Reboot. The play reading Renegades is something I did 6 months ago.
Yep.
Yeah, with the library. I liked it. It was fun. We learned a lot. It was just play readings. And every once in a while, I'd have a wonderful playwright like Jacques, and he would have his original material for us. I liked it, but there was something in there that just didn't feel right. I mean, it was too stressful.
Yeah, it was. It was a learning experience that we had to go through, and we were learning on the fly, and we had fun, but we learned a lot. So
yeah, exactly.
So
and Jacques Lamarre had beat our record for the most people who came to see a play reading. What do you know? Here, just give it to him. For
here you go.
Bit.
Give him back. I want it.
Wait, a small rental fee.
Okay, here you go. Keep it.
Okay.
My award for largest audience for a short-lived community theater group.
We are not worthy.
I'd like to thank the agents I don't have.
So what has been going on around here, besides play readings, is something called 24-hour theater, which is how I met both of these gentlemen. Yes. What you do is actors meet up, and then there's another person who will direct it, and then there's the playwright. They write a play based on who they got as actors for the cast, which is all random. It's a lot of stress. It's fun. The playwrights stay up all night. They write a play. We have the play to rehearse, block, all that stuff, and then put the play on that night. This has that kind of excitement for a couple of reasons, but it's still the same concept of which a playwright has a cast, he knows the theme, and the actors still have to put it on live. But say Marsha, what kind of live? Go ahead. No, Jacques, just say it.
What kind of live experience is this,
Yes,
Marsha?
please tell us.
Well, funny you should ask. It is live streaming, which is really exciting because I feel like a gift for a creative artist, which we all are, is that our family can't see many of them.
Most of the time.
Our friends live across the country. They can see it now. which is
great.
Really, it really is pretty exciting.
Oh, I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, and then, so it will help the playwrights, and I'm hoping that Jacques and I will be holding a Tony someday. I'm just convinced. It will happen.
Undoubtedly.
He's already holding one. What are you talking about?
Next step is that one.
Yeah, right.
He's moving up in size.
Biggest live streaming audience in the history of West Hartford Community Access.
But
Thanks, West Hartford Community Access.
all right, enough.
All right, sorry.
Off script.
Hold that for me.
Okay, so it's going to be live streamed, but what is the hook here? The hook is, and I don't want to get emotional, but I am a little bit because my last camera's rolling show. But I have finally learned at my, believe it or not, I'm over 30 at my advanced stage.
Really?
That I really think I'm the happiest when not only am I acting, because I feel passionate about acting, because that's how I healed growing up, but I really believe I'm the happiest when I can help somebody else, when you have that connection. And it's like a dream come true, because even if you perform for a small local theater, there's always somebody with a secondary gang. You know, the theater owners want you to fill in their seats or this, that. This is really for helping other people. And so it's all fundraising. The first one will be a fundraiser for WHC TV right here, public access, because things are changing because no one has cable anymore. So we need more fundraising efforts. So I'm really excited about that because I've been here for 13, 14 years now. And then the second one will most likely be the West Hartford Firemen, and they have a boot charity that will help muscular dystrophy, and they will be our second charity, and so on and so on. So did that make sense, you guys?
It makes sense.
Okay.
So how does the streaming performance benefit the organizations? People can come see the show live.
People can see it live.
And where is that going to be?
It's such a
That's
thank
a good
you.
question, Jacques.
It will be right here at Town Hall in the legislative room, which already has multiple cameras for their town meetings.
Gotcha.
And it's got a big old booth. I mean, to me, it looks like, oh my God, are we at like NBC? It's really exciting.
Yes.
This is like the heyday of when they used to do live theater on TV.
You're right.
I mean, you know, they've brought it back with these musicals that they do once a year on major holidays or what have you. But I mean, it used to be things like Playhouse 90 or...
You're right.
Where there would be performances of sometimes very current plays or things that were written specifically for the show, which is what I'm doing for the Reboot.
Right. And oh my God, you're right.
But when people come to the performance here, there will be an opportunity for people to make a donation. So it's not
exactly.
It's pay what you will.
Right.
But you're not even really paying. You are paying it forward. You
exactly.
Are donating money.
You are participating
in the donation of
in
what
something
we need to get.
special.
Yeah. And so none of the actors are getting paid.
No.
The director's not getting paid. I'm certainly not getting paid.
What are you talking about? We're not.
The talented actors are not getting paid. And so, but then all the money that is raised at that performance will then benefit the charity.
And help other people.
Exactly.
And it's just something that really I feel strong about, because I think I've finally come to the point, and I know that I have to act. I mean, this is a little bit of confiding or sharing. When I was, I come from a traumatic childhood, and acting, I had a really bad stutter. I couldn't really communicate, and I would get bullied, and I learned that when I act, I don't stutter. So that was how I got my passion for acting, because I loved being somebody else. And that stayed with me, and because I went through what I went through, I really liked that connection with other people. And, we all go through stages. I want to be a star, or I want to be a Broadway actress, or what have you. But I think as long as you are acting or have your creative artists, like Jacques writing, then that is really the happiest part to it.
And
it's the whole journey.
And it is the journey, and that's very interesting that you mentioned that, because growing up, acting was a big part of my life. I went to a special school for acting, and
oh, you did? Cool.
Yes, and it was actually for vocal music. So I used to sing years ago. But what I always liked about it was not only the creativity, but the connection you had with people and making people laugh. I personally like to make people laugh.
Yes.
And that creativity never went away, even though I went to corporate world and whatnot. It's still there, festering, and kind of when I got a little older, it sprouted out. So coming back to the community and doing all this is great, and paying it forward or booting it forward.
Boot it forward.
Is going to be great, and I really think there's a big opportunity here for everyone, local actors, local writers, directors, and whoever we can help.
Everybody who wants to come out and be a part of it. Now, Jacques has his background is so amazing. Like, I think of you want to be a priest.
Not anymore.
I know.
That boat has sailed.
but he has such a diverse background and so many experiences. I couldn't imagine you not being a writer, because it's like and you're so funny and you're so gifted.
But even when I was in the seminary, I was writing.
You were? Like what?
Oh, I wrote a comedy sketch that went over like a lead balloon for like a variety night that we were doing, and then I would write sketches for some other activities, because you're trapped in this seminary in a country where a lot of the people don't speak the language, and you're kind of forced to entertain each other. And
right.
So I actually, when I was in the seminary, did some, kind of rudimentary playwriting.
Is that where it started, or even younger in school?
No, it started before I had taken a playwriting class in college, and had also written 2 children's plays that were produced and toured in New Hampshire, where I'm from, and then after the seminary, I didn't really do any writing, and ultimately, as one transitions from potential priesthood, you end up writing for a drag queen. And
exactly.
Well, it makes sense.
You know what? Yeah.
It's all
as
drag.
They do.
It's all drag. So, and that really, by writing for Varla Jean Merman, kind of got me used to sitting down and because she has such a defined character.
Yes.
Learning how to write in that character's voice and to hone the humor in a certain way that you can be dirty but not be explicit. And so we had, it was a real fun writing exercise. And then once I kind of had that in my bones again, I started writing plays. So.
Right, and you went to work at the theater too, so you always stayed in that.
Well, I had been working in the theater since high school.
But you worked at Hartford Stage, right?
Yeah, but I worked at the American Stage Festival up in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
At the time when I was in high school, I had started volunteer ushering there when I was 12, and my parents had subscribed us to, or would take us to, the children's series there. And then when I got a little bit older, like 12, I started ushering, and so I was seeing things like Dracula at night, and and then I was working at Rite Aid Pharmacy, and as a cashier, it was my after-school job, and my brother was working at the Stage Festival, and he was working in the box office, and he said, I don't want to work there anymore, and I just said, I'll take your job, and so I didn't realize that it was going to set me on a path. And so in college, I was running the box office for the theater. At college, I also took my playwriting class, and then I worked another summer at the Stage Festival. I worked there 6 summers because it was a summer theater.
Right.
And then, when I graduated, I had a political science degree.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your major was.
Yeah, political science. But I had 6 summers of theater experience. So I sent a resume to Hartford Stage because my college roommate lived down here, and got hired and moved to Hartford. And then I left for seminary, came back, worked for the Hartford Symphony, Worked for the stage again I worked for them for 9 years total. Worked for Yale School of Drama and Yale Repertory Theater and Theater Works, and then ended up at the Mark Twain House. And even when I was at the Mark Twain House, Mark Twain dabbled in playwriting, and so I did some theatrical things there as well, and I've adapted some Mark Twain works for the stage. And it was very inspirational to be a person who primarily writes comedy at Mark Twain's house.
Yes, yes.
And to have the influx of authors and humorists that we would bring in.
Right.
So I was very lucky.
Yeah, and you've written so many different topics. Have you always been funny? I know you come from a family of 10.
Yes.
I mean, did you always know that you
10
had...
kids. There were 2 people who had them, so
Yeah,
a family
exactly.
of 12. Yeah.
But did you always know that you could make people laugh? Or because I don't... You know how you picture some of them, like Robin Williams was very quiet in person. Like, did you always know that was something, that was a gift of yours?
No. I think probably around high school is when I started to develop my sense of humor. I think you also don't become really kind of introspective or whatever about yourself until that point when you become a mopey teen. So I don't really have a memory of being funny. I think there were aspects of me that liked entertaining people, but I really don't feel like, I didn't make anyone laugh ever until high school. No.
In fact, you made them cry.
I made them cry. No, I haven't done that, yeah. But it's one of those things that I feel like developed over time.
Yeah. And
I was not the class clown.
Yeah, see, that was what I was curious about. Like, if you ask my family, I always I had little cousins, and I was put on skits, and I was the one in charge, and I played a diva at like age 6 already. So they're like, of course, Marsha's an actress.
Well, and that's funny you mentioned, because when my sister and I we lived in a small apartment in Brooklyn, and we used to.
Brooklyn, Connecticut?
Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
Brooklyn. So we used to put these little skits on. We used to make these, used to have dolls, and we were like 6 or 8, and we'd put these presentations on, and our parents would come in. And we're talking about in a room, a really small room.
Right.
We'd put pillows, and we'd have like scenes where I'd act like I was dying. Oh, I can't help me. And she'd come over and try to like do CPR and stuff. Like, we're like 6, 7 years old. But it was great, and we had this, this attitude. We liked the theater. My sister is an artist. She actually likes to draw.
Oh.
But as far as making people laugh, and you said, I always made people laugh.
Right.
From when I can remember. Just
So when did it stop?
probably when the show started today. About 10
Now?
Now. No,
When
thanks a
the
lot.
day
So-
the interview died.
No,
R.I.P.
but,
cameras rolling.
Okay, that's it. I'm at a theater now. Bye. Thank you, Jacques. No, but seriously, it's just been something that's always helped, and it helps in a lot of ways to relax situations and relax people, and you make people feel good too. And I think that's what humor is good, and it makes a difference. And you can't be too serious all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But his humor is, I can't believe you weren't funny.
I know.
Maybe because of the way of your humor and
Yeah, well, he's got that dry, sardonic,
You
biting
think?
wit. Yes.
You think?
Yes.
I think part of it is, when you start to realize, and I know you haven't gone through this yet, when you're going through puberty, and you start to realize.
That's right. I got to take this beard off. Hold on.
You start to realize, like for me, I think when as a gay man, it becomes a bit of a defense mechanism because you feel like if I either make fun of myself or can use some biting humor or what have you, then I can disarm someone who may be potentially hurtful to me.
Right.
And so I think I used humor to either ingratiate myself with certain people or, to kind of put up a wall. So I think that not to say that gay people are exclusively entitled to be funny, but I think in terms of myself, I really feel like I've kind of put on that suit of armor in a way in my teen years.
But but lucky for us.
And you'll go through that at some point.
Well, I figure by next week maybe.
Yeah.
Baby face,
I'm
Rick.
not a baby face.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I guess that's a good thing. So I guess I can't complain about that.
But
Not an attractive baby. But
No, I just came here. I just wanted to relax and do a show, and I'm getting picked on.
I
No,
know.
it's a roast.
It's a roast.
Roast. The
Can
last
we,
camera roll is
can
from
we
a roast.
make sure that we mention when this reading is and what we're doing?
Yes.
That-
Well,
that-
wait.
I don't know. I
But
don't know how much
it's
time we have
hello.
left.
Who's the producer here?
Jacques.
She's behind the glass.
Well, this is.
You're the talent.
But this is where I get very maudlin because thank God you found an avenue of writing for that pain.
Yeah.
And that pain heals you and it heals other people because people need creative arts to heal. So that's where I tie this all in.
Yes.
Okay, so it is called Renegades Reboot.
Yes.
Our hashtag is Boot It Forward.
Boot forward, and I'm just sorry to interrupt, but we
Yes,
also
please.
no, the Renegades Renegades Reboot, and if you need contact, and we start looking for actors. We want to
Actors,
We're gonna-
directors, playwrights.
Yes, actors, directors, and playwrights. And we are going to create a Facebook page, so we'll have that. And we're also going to have our email address that people can contact us with at renegadesreboot at gmail.com.
Yep, Renegades Reboot at gmail.com.
So
What is that?
It is called Renegades
Renegades
Reboot at gmail.com.
Got it.
Got it now? Okay, so that's where we can get in touch with people, or people want to get in touch with us, and we'll start advertising that as we go forward, or boot it forward over the next
Boot it forward, yeah.
few months.
For sure, because send us a pic, your age range. I don't need like a resume or all that, because, whatever. Just tell me, though, what your talent is, whether you want to playwright, whether you want to act, whether you want to
Yes.
direct. And who knows, we may need some people for sets at some point or for props or what have you. But I'm starting with we need actors, we need playwrights, we need directors.
Yes.
And then it's always here at West Hartford Town Hall in the Legislative Room. Our first show is going to be a different time. It's going to be at 7 on November 1st, Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, I almost said Tuesday. What? Damn. Okay. Our first show is November 1st at 8 o'clock. Doors open
PM?
7:30. No, 8 o'clock a.m. So
Central
gonna have a breakfast meeting first.
There you go.
No, okay, so it'll be 7. We'll open the doors at 7:30. The live streaming. Yes. What did I say? What did I say? I said what?
Live streaming.
Thank you.
Oh,
The
you couldn't hear
live
that, right?
streaming starts at 8.
This is just like Jesus Christ Superstar Live, but without
is.
commercial breaks.
John Legend will probably want to be on this.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you now.
He's already begging.
Yes. But so we'll have the live streaming, and then we all mingle. The playwrights meet the actors. Da 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 da. Another really cool thing about the first show is Linda Belt, who's at lindabelt.com, very successful stand-up comic, is going to be hosting it because I'm going to be acting in it. She is going to be hosting it, which will be even more fun.
Yay.
Yay!
Yay, Linda.
So, if you want to look up all of us, Jacques, you have your own webpage.
It's JacquesLamarrePlaywright.com.
Is Lamar with 2 R's or 1?
2 R's. It's not going to be on the bottom of the screen? It is? Oh, all right.
There it is. I just saw it.
There you go.
It went that way.
Okay, and it's JacquesLamarre.com. And
JacquesLamarrePlaywright.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. JacquesLamarrePlaywright.com.
Yes.
And we can find, because you have...
Someone stole my brand and took JacquesLamarre.com.
Did they?
Really?
Well, there might be another Jacques Lamarre out in the world.
No,
Yeah.
But,
Like you? No.
So, but can we find your plays, your touring plays, and what projects you're working on?
Not really, no. I mean, I do say what's running,
Right.
but you know, I can just tell you really quick that right now my play Raging Skillet is running in St. Louis.
Yay!
It starts performances this very week, and that'll be running for several weeks. My play I Loved, I Lost, I Made Spaghetti will be running in Atlanta in October as well. Of course, and we haven't mentioned the title of it, Murder on the Orient Access.
Is this one?
Yeah.
Murder on the Orient Access.
Yes. It's going to be comic murder mystery set in a community access studio.
Perfect.
And that's going to be November 1st here in West Hartford.
At 8.
Yes. And then the following weekend, the weekend of November 9th, 10th, and 11th, I believe it is, my play Born Fat, based on Elizabeth Petrichone's life and her struggles with her weight.
Our beloved Elizabeth.
Yes, we'll be at Emerson Theater Collaborative's space in Mystic, Connecticut. You go to Emerson Theater Collaborative. And then in December, Christmas on the Rocks will be back at
Oh my gosh, yeah,
TheaterWorks.
you do that. You're busy bee.
Busy bee.
Busy bee. And we're going to have a Facebook page, right, Rick?
Yes, I'll create the Facebook page.
Okay.
We'll have one and we'll propagate that out.
And you
everybody look at
can friend us too. Rick Fioco,
Yep.
Marsha Howard Karp. I use all 3 names.
Don't friend me.
it. Don't friend him.
Jack has too many friends. But and
If you're cute, you can friend me. Let's go stand in front of a mirror
there you go.
and make a value judgment.
There you go. Yep.
All right.
And good luck.
Good luck.
Well, I'm really excited for this next chapter.
so am I.
And I feel really, really, really thankful that you guys are with me. It makes me really just
Oh, she's
It
getting
makes me-
emotional.
stop. But I really am so grateful. You like me. You really, really like me. So on that note, I guess we're going to say goodbye to
For
cameras
now.
rolling,
For
but
now,
hello to Renegades Reboot. And I can't find my slate, so we'll just have to do it this way. And ready? Let's all say it together.
Okay.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
That's a wrap.